Hey there, golf lovers. Looking to step up your game? Let me tell you about Mollybox, the ultimate golf subscription box. Every month, Mollybox sends you a box packed with premium golf gear, accessories, and stylish apparel, all delivered right to your door. Imagine getting top-tier apparel and more, all handpicked just for you. With Mollybox, you'll stay ahead of the game and boost your performance. It's like having a personal caddy in a box. So why wait? Join the Mollybox family today. Head over to mollybox.com and use your limited time promo code ROGUE25, ROGUE, ROGUE 25 for 25% off your first box. That's mollybox.com.
Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
This week, we take a look back at a previous episode where Mike and I dove into a battle between Charles Barkley and Godzilla, of all people, which, according to Barkley, Godzilla loves some b-ball. You'll be able to hear that. That's what we have in store coming up.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts, boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Godzilla versus Barkley.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined by my sidekick, my sidekick,
Yeah.
Mike, or my
I'll be a
sidekick.
sidekick. I don't care.
I don't know what exactly that is.
It's just south of a sidekick.
It's like a cat and a yak had a baby,
Cat and a yak.
and somehow it's,
Little known Dr. Seuss book, Cat and a Yak.
yeah. But I mean, I guess I don't know how to get off from that. So let's go ahead
You're good.
and branch into the fact.
I will
of
tell you,
what
I'm
we have
very
today.
excited about this one.
Yes,
Super
And
excited about this.
This is one that we've been plugging for a while.
We teased it, yeah.
And been looking forward to doing it because I think that we can have a lot of fun with it, and it is just equally just kind of cool in a way because of two icons.
Yeah, sure.
But also just
From basically the same background.
oh, for sure. And there's some lines in there that
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
you'll learn. But it is Godzilla versus Barkley.
Not even Charles Barkley.
Not even
just
Charles Barkley.
'Cause
Barkley.
you either know or you don't.
No, yeah, that's true. And the cover of this is just amazing. We have
It is.
a 300-foot tall Charles Barkley
Right.
facing off. He's basically holding a ball in front of himself as if it's a shield against Godzilla, who is, it looks like she,
Yeah. I don't know.
the monster is spitting out water.
Yeah, it kind of does look like water. It doesn't look like his normal fire and brimstone. But I think the thing there's two things on here that I'm most impressed about. One is the size of the basketball.
Yes, the basketball has somehow grown with Charles.
That is a ginormous basketball. And then I just wonder if Nike okayed the swoosh on his shoes.
It's funny you say that,
Really?
Mike,
Oh,
because
look at me.
before we get into the comic itself,
Yeah.
this isn't the first time that Charles has played basketball against Godzilla.
Oh, sure.
If that's what happens in the comic, it looks like off the
It
cover
looks like
that
it
is
might. Yeah.
what happens. But this whole premise began back in 1992
Okay.
in a Nike television commercial.
All right.
So they came up with the concept of basically the commercial, which you can look up and find on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
I'll make it a very quick version of it, is essentially
Barkley playing basketball
yeah,
against Godzilla.
Godzilla is wreaking havoc in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Godzilla shows up. He's like, hey, challenges him to basketball. Godzilla puts on ridiculous pink goggles, which is kind of the best part of the whole.
Godzilla puts them on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like cream goggles.
Okay.
And Barkley slams through the giant O of the word Tokyo on like a building as if a slam dunk to beat Godzilla. And as they walk away, the line that's uttered at the end is Barkley believes, hey, I think the Lakers are looking for a big man. Haha, joke.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And that's it. Yeah, dig in at the Lakers too.
Yeah. Lakers.
Who were, coming down from the 80s there in the early 90s and 92. But, and that's just how it ends. It was a commercial that was supposed to be only for the Japanese audience.
Oh, okay.
But Nike liked the commercial so much after they saw it.
I just barely remember it.
That they decided to use it over here in the U.S. as well.
Right. 92 was
92.
Was he on the
He's
Rockets?
with the Suns.
He's with the Suns.
He's with the Suns. This is early with the Suns.
Okay. This is after Rockets.
No. He doesn't get to the Rockets till like 96, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
It goes
until after the championship.
Yeah, it goes 76ers,
Yeah.
Suns,
Gotcha.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Is there a team I'm missing in between?
I don't think
there?
so. I think you're
there
right.
might be another one at the end after the Rockets,
yeah,
but
I think it was those 3.
So he's with the Suns for what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Never won a championship, did
No,
Barkley.
he didn't.
And
But
yeah.
I will tell you something. Just a lot of people know Charles Barkley now as
the cantankerous old commenter
it's on Inside the NBA, which to me
TNT,
is
right?
on TNT, which to me is the single greatest sports show on TV.
Really?
I love that show.
Just because of the interaction?
Just the interaction, the way they're able to mix stats with comedy, with everything. It is, if I could ever be a part of something like that, I could die a happy man.
Do you remember when, who's the host?
Ernie Johnson.
Ernie. Yeah, I remember when his head swelled up real big?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He had, I don't remember
it was
what
like
it was.
some kind of...
No, he had Hoskins
was it?
lymphoma. He was really, I don't remember.
Yeah. But the dude kept showing up.
Yeah.
It was my point.
He worked through everything.
He just kept on coming.
No, and
just like Godzilla.
I think I could be wrong. I might have misdiagnosed.
Yeah, sure.
Ernie, and I apologize about that.
Well, nobody on that set was going to diagnose him correctly.
But and you know him as the talking head there, and probably know that he's just a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Yeah.
But this is a man who
we're talking Barkley now.
We're in Barkley, not Godzilla,
not Ernie Johnson,
or not Ernie Johnson.
Sure.
But in Charles Barkley is a man who led the league in rebounds. And it was Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
I'm sorry, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. There's a difference.
Sure.
I apologize. I'm not good at knowing.
I don't know what the difference is.
But
one is and one isn't, I guess. I don't know.
But Barkley.
Thanks to our stat guy.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Thank you for that. He is. I get lost when I'm saying. Barkley has out-rebounded the entire league while still only being 6'6". Like, let's not forget, he was a 6'6" power forward.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going against constantly guys that are anywhere from 2 to 6, 8 inches taller than him and out-rebounding everybody.
I'll never say the guy wasn't a good basketball player.
No. I'm just saying to those who don't know, Charles Barkley was a phenomenal basketball player.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
but so was Dennis Rodman.
That is true too. But Barkley was a better scorer than Rodman. I feel like Rodman was the guy that loved to rebound and pass the ball to somebody else.
He loved to rebound. He loved to elbow.
Yeah, he loved to get physical, but he didn't want to be necessarily involved in the offense.
Right.
Barkley
did want to be married
to
himself, though.
Hey, you know what? As troubled as he is, Dennis Rodman, the basketball player, was phenomenal.
Right. He absolutely was. Yeah.
But phenomenal basketball player, and at this time, very popular. Let's say Jordan's playing, so I'm trying to think of somebody now that would be. He's on par with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Some that
absolutely.
level of fame.
Yeah, these days. Yeah, sure.
During his playing time, like he's he's a household name.
Mm-hmm.
But I also looked at.
Well, you had a ton of commercials too.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just this.
And it wasn't just.
He had a bunch of
first
stuff.
Godzilla in this Nike ad, which debuted on September 9th, 1992, during the MTV Video Music Awards.
Oh, thank God.
Our Music Video Awards.
A day that will live in infamy.
I just have a note. Do you want to know who won Best New Artist? That's the only one I do. Who won Best New Artist in a video that year?
Who's that?
Nirvana for Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Wow.
Yep.
Banner year here.
It was.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think Tori Amos was up for the award too. Turned into her name like she was related to John Stamos.
So,
but
here is the. There's just
are you okay?
There's all kinds of action going on in the studio.
Okay.
On the front of this comic book, and I don't mean to get in the way of anything you're doing here, but I just read in awe.
Yes.
In awe.
As
Godzilla, trademark, battles Charles Barkley. No trademark. Can you trademark your own name?
I think you can. Here's what
That's
I know.
Weird, right?
Well, here's what I know. No. I don't think you can. Like you can't trademark your own name because I know this from being a wrestling fan. Like the reason guys were able to stay. Kevin Nash. He was diesel in WWE. He left, went to WCW. His name was Kevin Nash. They can't trademark his name as a character. So whenever he left and came back to the company, he could still keep being his same character because that's his name. No company could trademark it, kind of thing.
Sure.
So I don't think, like in a sense like that, like the only person who could, like you can't trademark Charles Barkley's name. Because then what if some company tried to trademark his name and he couldn't use it himself?
Read in awe as Godzilla battles Charles Barkley in a cataclysmic game of hoops, the likes of which has never before been witnessed by man.
Yes, but...
That's a big one.
But women were there to see the game.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
They did it for a all-female audience. They didn't add that in there.
That's good stuff.
Thank you. Just real quick facts about the commercial tie-in because I think this is funny too.
Oh, yeah, please.
Because I know that you're going to go watch the commercial just to see it. It is the first ever television commercial to utilize 3D audio.
Oh.
And the miniature buildings in the city were the same one used in the 1985 movie Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They just repurposed
them. They just repurposed them for this commercial.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, there you go.
Job.
So
Paramount or whoever.
Now let's go ahead and get into our comic, which came out in December of 1993 by Darkhorse. This is our first Darkhorse comic, Mike.
Darkhorse was pretty new then.
They were.
Yeah.
And a lot of great stuff from Darkhorse.
Oh, yeah. Not including this.
and it's not... Well, we'll just get to it.
Yeah, I got you.
The comic was written by Mike Barron with art by Jeff Butler and Keith Aiken.
Okay.
Now, our story starts off the coast of California.
Sure.
It's this giant kind of freighter ship. We're not told what's carried on it. It's just, hey, there's a storm. There's a disturbance. Yeah.
It's bringing freighters.
Oh, there's something in the water. What is it? It's Godzilla. And he breaks the ship in half.
Sure.
We don't know why. That's just our introduction to Godzilla.
So I just want to stop you one second. The sound that Godzilla makes when he comes up out of the water. It's carrying cars. See, there's some cars falling off the ship.
There you go.
The sound is karee-onk.
Yes.
So there you go.
I do love though how to splitting an entire boat in half. I do see a couple cars falling. I see 4 cars, but only one dude.
I see a man the size of a car.
Yes.
Saying, aye.
I hope. I guess that's the sound you make after you fall off.
Sure.
But that Godzilla splits in half. I don't know. Anyway.
I used to have a Kia IE. It was, it got like 40 miles to the gallon.
Is that really the name of the?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I just made that up.
We now jump to sunny California.
Sure.
Where we meet our main character, Matthew, and his grandpa.
A lot of girls in bathing suits.
Now they are, and they're all, of course, it's California, blonde women, scantily clad, even the men wearing Speedos with all their 8-packs. Like, everybody's gorgeous out here in California.
She got her some rollerblades on.
Oh, yep. Just having fun in 1993 California.
Sure.
Now, Matt wanted to head to the beach because he wants to try to say hi to Charles Barkley, who's shooting a commercial there.
Right.
Because he's Barkley's biggest fan.
Right. I like how they're using a camera from the 1940s.
Yes,
to
shoot
film
this commercial in 1993.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those big 2-reelers.
But he gets there and he's like, "Hey, I'm Barkley's biggest fan," and security keeps kind of turning him away. And he's like, "I don't think you understand how big a fan I am." And he's like, "Man, everybody here, everybody that's here is Barkley's biggest fan."
Right.
And one guy's like, "Yeah, I want to be, I'm his biggest fan. Oh, I'm an agent who wants to sign him. There's a girl there to see him. All this stuff." So he kind of gets turned away. Now the thing is, Matthew mopes on the beach. And this might be, I had the banner. I think I'm just going to pick like a block of what panel of the book every episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite one, this one.
All right.
Matthew is pouting in a sense about not being able to see Charles Barkley.
Sure.
And his grandpa is asking him, "How did it go?" And he's like, "Not well." Matt responds, "They acted like I was John Hinckley or something."
Everybody in 93, all the kids.
The kids were referring to John Hinckley in 1993.
There was a huge JFK resurgence. And
no, John Hinckley was Reagan.
Oh, that's right.
But still.
Well.
No, but still. It's like.
Still, though, I mean, kids and John Hinckley probably don't. I guess he took a shot at who? What's her name? The one that he was in love with?
Was it Jodie Foster?
It was just Jodie Foster.
Was it Jodie Foster?
Yeah, Jodie Foster.
Yeah. That's like 81 though. Like that's 12 years still. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it was.
All right.
I might be off on the Hinckley.
California time goes a little slower.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, it's weird to me. One.
Well, here's a great point, right? The fact that I thought it was JFK. That immediately, well, I'm saying I lived through all that, and so
and you're not an 11-year-old.
I still got it wrong. I'm not an 11-year-old in a Charles Barkley comic book.
Plus, what 11-year-old thinks like, "Oh, they're treating me like a pariah"? It's like I attempted to assassinate a president. Like, how is that the first thing they think to describe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, Matthew.
That's great.
When you get to be as big as Barkley, you have to take precautions. You'll be that big someday, is what his grandpa replies to that with.
Be.
But
yeah.
So
he's got to turn that hat around if he wants to get anywhere in life.
That's what they told me in school too.
Sure.
That's why I wear my hat
you kids,
forward all the time.
You kids with your backwards hats.
Yeah. They refer to Barkley, Matthew, and his grandpa as a great warrior a couple times throughout the comic, which is just weird to describe a basketball player as that. But obviously, it's foreshadowing. Because he's going to battle Godzilla.
Right.
We have to build up Barkley as a great warrior.
I cannot wait to find out how Charles Barkley gets that big. I'm just
you're either going to love it, or absolutely hate it.
Okay,
there is no in between on this.
I hope it's Wheaties.
No,
you just ate a big bowl of Wheaties.
But while Matthew's moping, we're introduced to a magic silver dollar by his grandpa that's kind of been passed down throughout the family.
Yeah.
And he's like, great things happen with this silver dollar. He's like, I threw a no-hitter against New York once. And Matthew's
the
like,
whole city.
And well, exactly. We line everybody up. Nobody could get a hit off me.
Nobody could hit it.
All, 17 million people in New York.
That's right, yeah.
It took, multiple months, but man.
Yeah.
But no.
I was so thirsty at the end.
Matthew goes, against the Yankees?
Oh.
And his grandpa goes, no, against some high school team.
Oh, okay.
And Matthew's like, oh, all right.
Oh, never mind, Gramps.
He's like, never mind. I didn't think it was as special. Like, he doesn't necessarily say that, but I mean, that's how I feel like he'd be like, oh, okay.
Sure.
He flips it up in the air and he's like, maybe it'll do something for me. I do want to point out too, because this will come up later. Like, that's him tossing it up in the air, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And he has it later, and he's catching. He play, and he's like, "Oh, maybe it'll do something for me." Basically, though,
speaking of foreshadowing,
as they're walking across the beach, they notice a guy on the shore that's washed up.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh no, it's a swimming victim. There's a drowning victim." No, it turns out to be one of the men from
it's IE
the boat. Yes, it's IE guy.
Wow, he is beat up too.
He does not look good. But
the black eye and the busted lip.
Oh, also, I want to point out. I'm sorry, I just have this in my notes, and I feel like I need to make sure
please.
I don't. It is never given. We're never given a history of why it's a magical silver dollar.
Okay,
nothing is ever explained about it.
Well, that's what keeps it magical.
Exactly. So they call for the lifeguards to come help this man when all of a sudden Godzilla's now on the shore. We have not been given a reason at all of why Godzilla is irritable
Or in Southern California.
Yeah. He just came and attacked a ship.
Yeah.
Last we know, between Godzilla and Charles Barkley, they were battling over in Tokyo.
Sure.
I mean, did he just get wind of it and he wants a rematch now?
Maybe.
I don't know, because no reason is ever given.
Well, the reason is right here. Skarionk. Whenever he comes up out of the water. Skarionk.
Is that a verb?
Yeah. It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
There's a skarionk. I'm so sorry.
It's all just onomatopoeia.
There's a skarionk and a gronk and a thwomp.
And then somebody yells Godzilla.
Right. They're the kid with the backwards hat.
Yeah. I love how there is a point in time. Well,
Matthew.
Matthew, yes. Yeah. Or Matt, as he's called at times. So
Boom, wham, whomp.
So the police show up and they tell all the citizens, like, basically, hey, you all need to, IE's back again. I didn't notice that.
Somebody screams IE again. Yeah.
IE is the go-to terror word in this comic. But basically, police come and they tell the citizens, like, hey, everybody, you need to leave, go to safety.
Sure.
And planes are flying over. And Matthew's like, no, this isn't what how you defeat Godzilla. Like, he's very familiar already with Godzilla. And he suddenly thinks, I know who can save the day.
This is ridiculous.
The only man who can save us from Godzilla is Charles Barkley, Mike.
Charles Barkley is Earth's greatest warrior. Only he can stop Godzilla. IE.
That's two different characters. Sure, the IE is from a different character.
I just think it's funny that those are in the same panel.
So Matt decides then, I have to take it upon myself to go recruit Charles Barkley to fight Godzilla.
By the way, Matthew's on a skateboard.
Yes,
at this
so
point.
Matthew hops on his skateboard.
That he hasn't had before.
Hasn't had. Was it there at the beginning?
I don't think he had it. No, I don't think he had a skateboard. I mean,
you might be right.
Yeah, see, there's no skateboard here.
Okay.
He's just running around.
Oh, did I completely miss a magical skateboard? Hold on, I might have.
Pulls a skateboard out of his butt and then just starts skating.
Did he steal it from somebody?
Well, I'm
like,
looking.
Did he grab it somewhere?
Is that it?
Yeah.
I guess it's just sitting up there on
Okay. So it's just a left behind skateboard that he goes and uses.
Sure.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Well, everybody's running and he's trying to go get Charles Barkley's attention.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like in action movies when they're like, oh, like everybody's running one way and there's an abandoned car and he's like, I'm going to take it to go the other.
Right. I love how many people leave their keys in their visor.
Oh,
of their car.
So many.
I always love that.
Or just like in the cup holder.
Or how easy it is to jumpstart a car.
Oh, yeah. Have you never done it?
Especially when there's a big reptile coming after you.
I accidentally leaned against the car the other day. Started
it right up. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. It just, it's so easy to do. But so Matthew uses the skateboard.
You said whenever it started.
Matthew uses the skateboard to go ahead and make his way to Charles Barkley and finds a ramp to jump over the people who earlier told him he could not see Charles Barkley. And how do you get Mr. Barkley's attention? Well, you land right into his arms.
Sure. Well, and I have to point out something here that Charles looks a little like Evander Holyfield in this comic book. He doesn't really look like Charles Barkley.
He kind of looks like Barry Bonds.
He does look like Barry Bonds there, but that looks like Evander Holyfield. Yeah.
I didn't notice it until you pointed it out, Mike.
Yeah.
Like
wow, he literally just so Matthew goes up a ramp, and this is setting a new precedent. I'm reading this comic along with you as you're describing it, but he goes up a ramp and says, "Hey," as he makes the word vroom. Charles, I got to talk to you, man. And then he starts doing these frontward flips.
Oh yeah, he does do like a.
Yeah, he balls himself up and flip, and then right into Charles's arms.
It's like the little,
just like Shaq,
roly-poly bugs from Bugs Life.
That's right.
The trapeze acts.
Yeah. Oh wow, this is something.
Yeah. So basically, Barkley's like, "Hey, what can I do for you, kid?" And he's like, "Godzilla's, attacking us, and you're the only one who can help."
No.
And Barkley just doesn't really take him serious. He's like, "I can't. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, you can. You're Earth's greatest warrior." Like he just starts, just laying in, just talking Barkley up. And Barkley's like, okay. And his people are like, no, you can't listen. And he's like, you know what? Forget it. All of my staff, y'all are fired. He fires his whole staff
Right, sure.
after this kid tells him basically like, you're the only one who can beat Godzilla. So really quick, Charles Barkley had 3 people that worked for him as a staff. And what we know about them isn't much. I would assume like one's an assistant, one like does like endorsements, and one's like a
smarmy guy with the ponytail.
Yeah, and there's another one that like, I don't know, handles the media.
Yeah.
Because he says, you know what? You're fired. What? You know, you heard me. Go on, take a hike. And the smarmy one that Mike likes replies with, what if you say something that offends someone like a little old lady in Vermont?
You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
And Barkley, I guess you could tell her to write me a letter.
Oh.
I mean,
Wait, who's going to tell her if they're all fired?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, this story's really holding together. That's good.
No, I mean, like, he's just like, hey, tell her to write me a letter then.
I like how Barkley is not freaked out that Godzilla is now like inches away from
This
him.
is a man who fired his staff, though, because a
true.
little kid told him
It's true.
that he was Earth's greatest warrior.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
Earth's greatest warrior. All right.
So, Barkley still doesn't think he can beat Godzilla, though. So he's like, Matthew, let's just head back into town. Like,
Sure.
let's get back to safety.
Hey, kid I just met who jumped into my arms. Get in my car.
You know what, though?
Get out of my dreams and get into my car.
Here's the thing. Where's Grandpa at? Charles
Yeah.
Barkley has kind of just kidnapped Matthew.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a theme throughout most of these books that we read. There's a lot of child kidnapping.
There is a lot of child
and
kidnappings.
a lot of let's turn this kid against everything that he's ever known.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, Barkley has kidnapped our main character, but Matthew tells him about the magic silver dollar.
Yeah.
And Barkley is somehow some kind of coin aficionado and like goes, oh, this, you know.
A big coin collector.
Yeah. And he's like, it's supposed to be magical. And he's like, yeah, all right, fine. It's magical. Matthew keeps telling you, is like, yeah, and you're the only one who can save us from Godzilla, yada, yada, yada. Like, he just keeps preaching or harping on the same thing. So Barkley's like, fine, I'll play you for it, and I'll play you for the silver dollar here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? He's like, that's the thing. Godzilla is literally
He's tearing the
storming
city up.
into the city, and they are stopping to play one-on-one.
There's jets overhead. You know,
and they're stopping to play one-on-one
Look at all the
for a
flames.
silver dollar.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Barkley says,
Barkley loves them coins.
Matt, I'll let you have the ball first.
Right.
Matt.
Since I'm a grown up and you're 11.
Yeah. And Matt's like, oh, no, you're going to spot me 13. We're playing to 15.
Oh.
He goes, but I'll be fair and I'll flip the coin to see who goes first. And Barkley calls heads and it lands on its side. And Barkley's like, that's strange. And he goes to pick up the coin, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, that's what does it. The magic coin makes him
And
big.
by touching the magic coin or picking it up, he grows 300 feet.
And of course,
tall. Not only does he grow, his clothes grow. The basketball he's holding grows. The basketball sneakers he's wearing grows. Everything just grows.
And as we would all say, what the? Whoa.
Yep. And then we get into...
He says, now I feel like playing some hoops now that I'm 300 feet tall.
Yeah, now that I'm the same size as Godzilla,
Sure.
you know what? I do feel like playing basketball against him.
Yeah.
So there's a news helicopter that is flying around. Yeah, it's like a Where's Waldo kind of.
Yeah, he's like peeking out from behind a building as the other one behind him is on fire.
But there's a news helicopter.
A pink one.
A pink one that's being flown around. No, what's the news girl's name? It was funny to me. It was like Janet Saturn or something. What was it? It was something weird.
Janet Planet.
There you go, Janet Planet.
Janet Planet. All
so
right.
the news lady's Janet Planet
From KQED.
it's from
Quid. Quid.
But
Queef.
no,
Sorry.
no, that's
sorry.
that was
Misread.
yeah, that was the other. That's the follow up.
Okay. That's their sister station
Yeah.
down in Monterey.
Okay. So, but Charles Barkley basically.
I like these Thursday nights. They work out a lot better.
They do,
Yeah.
man. But Barkley comes out and's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and distract him. And like the news reporter, here's the thing. The news reporter, you have to think they're normal sized people.
Right.
Barkley's now 300 feet tall. But she asked him a question from
the copter.
and he answers. Like apparently he gets supersonic hearing, I think, too. But yeah, basically she's like, how are you going to distract him? And he's like, hold on, I have it down here. A news helicopter asks him how he's going to distract Godzilla. And Barkley replies with, I'm going to challenge him to some one-on-one. It's a little known fact that Godzilla is a sucker for b-ball.
Oh, he loves it.
That is true because the only time I've ever heard of it before is in a Nike commercial that you were in.
That's right.
So the only people who know that are you and Godzilla at this point.
I would say that Charles Barkley is a trash talker, right?
Oh,
wouldn't
sure.
You say when he played, he talked a lot of trash. So he starts off.
I'll hit him with some of the great lines in here, Mike.
He starts off by addressing Godzilla. Hey, you sorry suitcase-looking sucker, I'm talking to you. Sorry suitcase-looking sucker.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Boy, that would get me.
Well, I mean, Barkley obviously didn't write his own lines in here.
And just at this point, when he starts addressing and this copter's been flying around, she says, I'm going to put this on the air. What, was that a question before?
Well, then who's she talking to?
That's what I'm saying.
Because the font is written like it's on air.
This is Janet Planet reporting live from the KUE blah, 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 copter. We've just been, hey, I'm going to put this on air.
I didn't think about that until reading that. We were just reading her practicing before she was going.
Bill, hit record. Yeah, she's just...
So this is like the backup chopper. They're like, what can we do with Janet? Send her out on the backup chopper and tell her to practice being the
freaking Janet Planet. Get her out of here.
Tell her to practice doing traffic. Maybe we can get her doing that.
Oh, there's
so
a big
she's just out
lizard.
there practicing.
There's a big
Should we
lizard. Should I
record
film it? Wow.
Oh man.
And here's the thing. You know, if I am a news person in a news copter and I'm just doing traffic and stuff like that, right? Am I more amazed at a giant lizard or am I more amazed at a giant Charles Barkley with a giant basketball? I mean, which puts you? I'm thinking the guy.
That's a good one.
I'm thinking the guy. You know?
I mean, I think you're obviously struck by the whole situation, but yeah,
Sure.
I think it's the fact.
It's a giant human.
I think like I can process somehow a little easier the fact that I know that there's depths of the ocean that we have still not been able to discover.
Yeah.
So while I don't believe something like that's down there, I don't know.
Very rarely do we fly over a rainforest and spot a giant man. Though,
Yeah, no.
you know?
So like a giant human, I'd have to wonder where has he been then? We should have been able to find him.
Yeah.
So, and plus, actually, well, in this case, it's not even just like a random guy. It's Charles Barkley. So, yes, I would be wondering why Charles Barkley was 300 feet tall.
Evander Holyfield, according to how you catch him.
Yeah.
How the light catches him.
I don't know, his facial expression, like there does seem to be some panels where his face looks like a completely different person.
He does,
some of these.
Yeah. This is Lou Gossett Jr. Here.
So he bounces the basketball off of Godzilla's face. He just like checks it.
Yeah.
Chest pass right to the dome.
And it says bonk.
It does.
When it hits him.
And he gets angry at Charles and like Charles like dives out of the way.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, let's go play some basketball basically, and leads him away from the city.
Well, he also says, yo, you ever hear a mouthwash? Don't think so.
No.
A little more of that trash talk that he's known for.
Also, I would like to point out, just thinking about this now, there is a cultural divide between Charles Barkley and Godzilla. Godzilla probably does not. Well, one, he's an animal, so he
Right.
probably doesn't understand
English.
English.
Sure.
But also, even if he were able to understand human communication,
It'd be Japanese.
exactly.
Yeah.
So he is not understanding anything.
No. He's just a pissed off monster at this point with a basketball being bonked off his head.
Mm-hmm.
Charles knows a place they can go play, though,
Yeah.
in the valley.
And he takes him to an Air Force base.
No, not just any Air Force base. The SCARF.
Yeah,
Air Force
is that
Base
an
Missile
actual
Command Center.
Air Force base? I've never heard of it. If
I don't think so, but it does say close, stay out.
Yeah, so it's off
Stay
base.
out, you.
When they get there, Barkley uses old rocket scaffolding and makes a hoop out of it.
This
I
fantastic.
would also like to point out that Godzilla is not trying to attack Charles. He is basically just hanging around, watching Barkley as he does all this.
Yeah.
So he's apparently understanding everything. So Barkley was right. Godzilla does love to b-ball.
Hey, they're using the old shuttle scaffold.
As a hoop.
Okay.
Basically, Barkley gives Godzilla the ball first. The news helicopter is now flown out to where they're at to try to get coverage. I don't know if it shows it yet, but I'm going to have to at least, you see that Matt and his grandpa are in his car
Yeah.
in this panel.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
They're driving out to see this game, to see what's going on then, because somehow grandpa's found Matt. That was never brought up because remember, Barkley just kidnapped him,
Right.
grew 300 feet,
Right.
and then just went after Godzilla, said nothing to Matt. So they just left this 11-year-old in the middle of a, destroyed city in California. Either way, he's been found by grandpa somehow, thankfully.
Sure.
But they're going to see, I guess they feel connected by what's going on. So Godzilla and Barkley start playing basketball. Godzilla pulls that good old Bill Lambier move and swats him with his tail.
Sure. Yeah.
You remember when they did that with the Bad Boy Pistons?
Oh, yeah. I remember they all had tails.
Yeah. And he just smacked him in the face with his tail and goes by and shoots a little jumper, I think.
Yeah.
And Barkley's like, oh, okay, you want to play rough, man?
Just real quick,
Yeah.
before we move on, I just want to point out some of the fantastic dialogue that they've given Godzilla.
Oh, also, okay, it did show up.
Yeah.
So they're going there, but did you notice everybody's supposed to be running? Everybody
Yeah.
is now heading out of the
Everybody's
city
going, yeah.
to go watch Godzilla and Charles Barkley play basketball.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's a jam. It's a traffic jam to get there.
So here are some of the lines given to Godzilla just in these 4 or 5 panels here.
Oh, Barkley trash talk.
Godzilla says, "Groof." Then Godzilla, he takes the ball, and that sound is snurge. Then when Godzilla shoots a basket, he says skronk. The ball didn't make that sound. He said skronk.
The ball is silent.
Right,
Like
the
we
ball
see
is-
air go
yeah.
through, but it is not making noise.
Right. And then when Charles says, "Oh, okay, you never played the game because you look like you could play," Godzilla responds with snorf.
Is that like a diss?
Snorf. And then, but now Sir Charles has the ball. Show you how we do it in the West. And Godzilla says snarg.
There's a lot of snuff sounds for Godzilla.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's got some sinus issues.
Maybe.
Saw that fire.
It is. So Gargley. That's what happens when you try to say
Gargley. That's the combination
Godzilla
of the two.
Barkley is Gargley.
Gargley. Yeah.
So Barkley starts putting on a clinic. Somehow, I don't know.
He played for the Suns.
Yeah.
Why do these people like him? You're in Southern California fighting a giant lizard, and he's like, "Oh, this is how we do it in the West." No, dude, you played for the Suns.
Arizona's technically in the West.
Yeah, but that's not the way it works, and you know that.
I know it's not.
Oh, my
I also
God.
like to point out, I don't know if maybe it's my printer, but he switches shirts halfway through.
Oh, wow, he does.
But
yeah.
then switches back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
Ooh, I really like what's coming up.
Oh, I also love how somebody made a
They made a
sign
banner.
that
Yeah.
says "Go
Yeah.
Charles."
Yeah, somebody had some time and some markers.
Our city's being destroyed by Godzilla. But hold on, I gotta make a Go Charles banner for this basketball game we're gonna go watch.
Well, you got that, and then you got the girl here with the top on that looks like she's very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an aside, and this is just a comic book issue for me, and it's not necessarily just this one, but I've never understood the speech balloon with just the big question mark in it
To show confusion?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think you needed the speech bubble for it. You could have just drawn question marks.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a thing about it.
Like Barkley just schools Godzilla.
Yeah, he does.
To the point where he's like, and then finally Barkley's like, all right, coming at you with some more. He's like, and
Godzilla says whoosh.
Yeah, and that's some sort of like laser beam out of his mouth, and it basically melts the ball.
Here's my question. Why didn't you do that to begin with?
And it looks like, the way they draw it, it looks like it melts the ball onto Barkley's hands.
And it looks like the ball was solid.
Yes.
Also, it didn't contain air.
No.
It was a solid rubber ball.
But don't worry, it's just the way it's drawn, because his fingers are fine, because his next panel, he's basically looking at Godzilla like, what's wrong with, he is yelling at Godzilla like, watch your temper, hey, you got to play better than that. And then all of a sudden, they're best buds.
Yeah, well, I have to give it to Godzilla because he does take it in stride with a nice karunk. That's how he responded.
So,
and then a gruff.
So I just want to, just real quick, Godzilla, we don't know why.
This is awesome.
But he attacked California.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
we don't know why.
Bygones, just
he destroyed. That's not cheap to rebuild what he destroyed.
No. This is Transformers level.
That was
destruction.
Millions of dollars of damage.
Yeah.
Not to mention what they've done to this. Hopefully they don't need that scaffolding again.
No.
But
who needs to put stuff in space?
But so we go from all that, not to mention they're playing basketball, to in 1, 2, 3 panels. I'm going to read 3 panels real quick to show you what it takes to change all that around.
Yeah.
Barkley says to Godzilla, what's the matter with you? You going to trash talk the ball? Wait, what? Oh, you going to trash the ball when the game doesn't go your way? You've got, and he harunks at that.
Harunk.
Very next panel, you got some moves. Little work, you could maybe get a tryout with the Bulls, one of those second-rate teams.
Oh, man.
Very next panel. Hey, you destroyed our ball. You can't get hot-headed.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try out for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. You don't need to be toasting the opposition. Where's your sense of humor? Come here. Let me talk to you.
Come here, you big lizard.
You just need the right attitude and the right equipment. I know some people who can make you some shoes.
Oh, my God.
That's a Nike reference.
Well, and the thing is, he's got his arm around him at this point.
He does, as they're walking away together.
Hey, bus buddy.
And Godzilla just says, Grumph.
Grumph.
With a question mark.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
Grumph indeed. Well, and the ball's back all of a sudden.
New ball. Charles is still 300 feet tall.
I got to point out new hoop also.
Completely new actual basketball hoop.
That's not the...
Well, that is because we're no longer in California. We are now in a remote canyon in Utah.
Okay. So do we get a jazz reference at some point?
No, we don't. But here's what I would like to point out.
I want to get this tattooed on me right here.
Oh, yeah.
It just says Godzilla got busy.
Godzilla got busy, and it's Godzilla in sneakers doing a layup.
Yeah.
Like, if his knee were up a little bit more, then it'd be an old school perfect form layup. Like, it's just finger rolling in. But I want to point out that Charles Barkley is still 300 feet tall here, right? And now they're in a canyon in Utah.
Right.
That means the two of them walked from California.
Sure. Well, they're so big.
To Utah.
Yeah, they're so big.
So let's also think of how much damage.
Well, that's true too. I guess
they're causing in their walk across. But in this time, he told him he knew somebody who gets sneakers. That's right, because he got Godzilla a size 13,000 triple E Nike sneakers for him to wear.
Well, I like how they're fashioned to the shape of his foot too.
Yes,
a big paw.
Somehow
Nikes.
They took those
Well, they were Shaq shoes, and they just let him borrow them.
Yeah. So, and Barkley basically, when he leaves, tells Godzilla, do you want to read it there?
It says, all right, let's get busy. See you in about 100 years.
Because he tells
100.
Godzilla, after he says, he tells him about the shoes, he basically passes him. He goes, I want you to do 1 million layups. I'll be checking on you.
1 million layups.
So he has tasked Godzilla to shoot 1 million layups.
Sure.
And then he'll come back. That's the first one.
And then Godzilla gets
That
busy.
is where it's left. What happens after Godzilla finishes those 1 million layups?
Well, he attacks another city. Yeah, I mean, he's pissed off at this point. He's lonely.
Okay.
Or she.
So Charles flies back.
I just, hang on. I don't want you to get past this.
No, that's
because
fine.
there are 2 panels here.
Yep.
One with Godzilla doing layups.
Yep.
And it says Godzilla got busy.
Yep.
The next one with Charles on a plane.
Who is no longer 300 feet tall.
Right. He's the regular size now. Speaking to an unknown lady he's sitting next to with what looks like curly fries in front of him and a hot steaming cup of coffee.
Yep.
The lady says, what will you do in the city, Charles? Got to see a boy about $1.
Yep.
Yeah, that's creepy.
You know what that is in reference to, though?
Yeah, it's the silver dollar.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to
The
crap
silver
it out.
dollar. No. I've heard, by the way, speaking of Barkley, when it comes to gambling, that he has lost like $1 million.
Oh,
in a
I
city
don't doubt
before.
that one bit. Yeah.
I enjoy Charles Barkley. Like, obviously, Charles Barkley has done some, maybe not even good
Sure.
at some
Yeah,
questionable things, but I enjoy Charles Barkley as a human being. I just read around this time, I was just trying to find something that was going on in Barkley's real life
Yeah.
to kind of, counteract this with. And it's not around the same year. Well, I guess let me finish the comic real quick and then I'll get to this. So we then go back to Matt, and Matt is arguing with like this bully, basically telling him, they're arguing, do not do two, do not do two.
And bully
and
who looks like Howdy Doody.
Yes, Howdy Doody basically tells him, you don't know Barkley and you can't make this shot from here. And he's like, I can do both. And he's like, I'll bet you $1. So he shoots it, swishes it, turns around, and Barkley's there too. And so basically he gives Matthew back his silver dollar. The bully gives Matthew $1, and that's how it ends.
Well, and you can tell we're in more of an urban environment because you've got TV repair and pawn shop. Charles Barkley is dressed like somebody from Miami Vice now. Yeah, this is great, man.
And that is
that's literally the end.
the end.
Oh my God. Come on.
You expected more?
I did expect something else. I don't know
No,
what it
that's
was,
it.
but maybe Godzilla brushing his teeth or something. I didn't know.
And so that is Charles Barkley won, Godzilla nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great. Good.
So
Well, that was underwhelming.
yeah. Oh, really?
Well, I don't know. Poor Dark Horse. I mean, they were really grabbing at some stuff here.
Well,
weren't
you
they?
had they were trying to probably just capitalize on.
Yeah.
You can. Funny thing though, around this time, I just reading other stuff. Barkley in '91, was he arrested? Yeah, he was arrested in Milwaukee for a fight. What had happened was he and
Hassling
a
a
woman.
buck.
There you go. It's tied together.
Sorry.
He and a lady were leaving a club or something. I can't remember, but he was basically saying that he was getting followed by. Felt like he was getting followed by 3 guys, and they were basically just like "F you, Barkley," just harassing him.
Yeah.
Thought they might be drunk, and he thought that I can't defend myself against 3 dudes, and because they followed him like almost to his car. So he turned around, and he said that he pretended to just. So he goes, I started acting crazy. He was like, I thought maybe catch him off guard. He's like,
Yeah, sure.
He's like, so he's like, I'm taking everything off. He's like, untucking my shirt, throwing my jacket off, like undoing my pants. He's like, I'm standing there in my boxers, undoing my shirt. He's like, 2 of the guys see what's going on and back up. But one guy, the guy's still in front of me and in my grill, he goes, was still all up in my face. He goes and Karate Kid was big. He's like, so I waxed on, waxed off, and just hit him right square in the face.
Wow.
Broke his nose just from being there.
What a
But
guy.
so that's what's going on in actual Charles Barkley's life during that time too.
In the back of this comic book, there's a couple of things.
I have just I added some of the ads just because I thought they were weird, and
Well, I don't understand what this legend thing is.
it was a comic at one point in time.
Right, but you see, it's over here too.
I mean, I guess they were promoting it.
I guess. And this guy looks, well, he's the Torch of Liberty.
You know the Torch of Liberty?
No.
Sounds like he'd be in The Boys, right? Oh, because
Yeah.
that's Lamplighter.
Does,
Never mind.
yeah.
But
That's a horrible cover.
it's very 90s.
I kept thinking that said David Byrne. It was like the new
From the Talking
new
Heads?
Talking Heads miniseries.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Well, that'd make a great comic
Oh,
book.
yeah. So there you go. That is Barkley versus Godzilla, or
That was
Godzilla versus Barkley.
$2.95 in
Back in
1993.
December of 93.
Yeah.
Also, before we get done with
I wonder what else you could buy for $3 in 93.
in 93,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What else could you buy? While you're looking that up.
I finally brought. I'll let you go ahead and talk about it.
I want to thank you for bringing this page of ads. This goes back to the last episode. This is on the back of Popular Comics. These are absolutely my favorite. It looks like a classified ad thing. It's all black and white on a kind of a faded, old-looking newsprint, black with red print. And I don't know, I'm just going to say conservatively, there's 25 ads on this page, right? Just
no, there's a lot.
jammed
They're
in
all
here.
jammed together.
Yeah. And it's for all these different things. Like you can get the new 1941 catalog of novelties. It's got 9,000 different novelties in it.
Ooh.
You can also think about this. This is 1941, right?
Yeah.
You can make your own record for $4.95. $4.95 was a lot.
1941. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll look that up too.
That has to be huge, because you could get a World Mic, MIKE, for 25 cents. I don't know what that is. Talk, sing, and play, but that's not the way you spell mic. So
Maybe they did back then.
Maybe so. Maybe things have changed. There is a Throw Your Voice with the Ventrilo.
I
10
don't know
cents.
why it didn't calculate $4.95 exactly, but $4.50 in 1941 equals $88.98. So it's like $90.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna, I mean, that's quite a bit for this lady with the curled hair to throw her voice. You could get a repeating slingshot, which I don't know what that is.
Aren't all slingshots repeating away?
I
Because
think
you'd
they
have to
can be.
load the.
Magnetic pups.
Don't know what that
They're
is.
little magnetic dogs that stick to each other.
Okay.
Midget racer.
It's like a small, but it's only 25 cents.
It's only 25 cents, so I'm assuming it's just a little tiny
Like a
car.
Matchbox car
a little
kinda?
Matchbox car, yeah. Underwater goggles.
regular goggles.
And you gotta understand, these are all things you could send away to the Johnson Smith and Company department in Detroit, Michigan, for all these things. You just send, 25 cents in the mail or whatever. And this is a time when you would send change in the mail. You would send an actual quarter. You can get twin hearts.
Did we talked about it last week too, with like how you could save up like points for things,
Yeah,
like how like smokers had like.
yeah. I had a lot of those points.
We had a lot of those points too as a family. My grandmother I already told the story about the cassette then for Christmas, right?
I don't remember it. But I'm old as hell. So.
Well, if I told her already, my apologies. But
No,
yeah,
I
for
don't care.
Christmas one year, my grandmother, who was a smoker, I think Winston's at the time, got all of her grandkids cassettes of Winston's Christmas favorites.
Oh, wonderful.
And it was cassettes that she bought with her smoker points. And that
that's
was all of our
great.
Christmas gifts.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember one time my mother thought it was a good idea for me to, hey, he'll really enjoy this. He can pick out his own Christmas gifts and give them to people, right? And so she gave me one of those little funky ass magazines that come in the mail.
yeah.
And I remember giving somebody a frog that you could put your dish scrubber in.
Yeah.
Just crap like that. It was just terrible stuff.
we
But everybody had to pretend to like it.
Yeah, no. We had a market like that at school one year in elementary, and it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Like my mother gave me not a lot of money.
Right.
I think, I don't know how much the inflation, everything, maybe like $5 or whatever. And I went and I found like little knickknacks and stuff, or it was points that I had earned from something that I would buy people Christmas presents with. And it's like I bought my mom like these little like porcelain, super small, like porcelain, like jewelry boxes that she couldn't fit anything in. But she'd be like, oh, and so she just had a collection of them by her. Yeah. Jewelry.
Something she never wanted to collect.
Yeah. Or I would get like, I still remember my sweet mother, like the quarter machines. Yeah. I would get she'd give us quarters, and I would get me like one of those little football helmets that I love to collect. And with the other one, I get a piece of jewelry, and I would go and I'd be like, and I got you this.
Those little football helmets.
Yes.
So you collected those?
Yeah.
I loved those little football helmets.
Like you had to put on the face mask too, remember? It was just the plastic part and you put the stickers on.
The first time that it was the World League. Do you remember?
I know of
of the World League. I know you weren't around, but when the World League came out, I took the helmets and I repainted them by hand to match the World League helmets.
Do you have that still?
No, I wish I did. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time by myself. So you can get a live chameleon in the mail.
Are they going to mail it to you?
Yep. And you can also get a live turtle in the mail. And the one thing I want to point out about the live turtle is apparently his shell is broken and you can see his guts.
That's what he looks like at the end.
It is.
I don't know if they were trying to like highlight it with the red ink, but it does not look good.
Yeah. You can also get the mysterious reappearing mouse. I don't know.
Is that like, we'll send you a box?
I don't know, man.
There may or may not be a mouse in it. Is that?
Ooh, there's a squirming and wiggling worm.
Hold on, Mike. In the bottom left, what is?
It's a blank cartridge pistol for only 50 cents.
That looks an awful lot like
It's in revolver style.
Oh, it's probably like one of those cap guns. Okay.
Yeah. It says fire for protection. I don't know what that means.
But it's a blank, like, I think, do they want you to use it as like it's a fake gun, but use it to scare people?
Does that say not prepared or not prepaid?
Oh my goodness. Not prepaid.
Okay. Well, your gun is not prepaid.
Revolver style, blank cartridge pistol. 100 blank cartridges also cost you 50 cents.
Right above that, you've got the pistol style cigarette case.
But here's the thing. It says takes 22 caliber blank cartridges.
22 caliber.
Could you not just replace it?
This is just a gun. It's just a regular gun. Yeah. They're just selling you some blanks. That's all that is.
So basically, you can get a 22 handgun and blanks for it for $1.
50 cents. Yeah, and blanks for
and then
50
steal
cents,
your parents' ammo.
Well, shit.
That's horrible. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying like in this ad,
you can learn to fly for 10 cents.
What?
Learn to fly. Like 10 cents.
An airplane?
It shows an airplane. These were very different times.
Oh man!
And I want to. This is the last thing I'll point out, but
it's ridiculous just what they're selling.
Two things. One, this is in the back of a comic book.
Yeah.
For I would think children.
Yeah, it was what Dr. Hormone was in.
For a quarter, you can Dr. Hormone, but for
a
quarter, you can get a pistol cigarette case to hold your cigs, kid. And then right below, okay, so there's a theme right here in the corner. It says pistol cigarette case 25 cents. Then it's below that you've got the blank cartridge pistol for 50 cents, which you can just replace with real bullets.
Yeah.
And then right above it says pistol hold up bank. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's right there. Yeah. Hold up bank. So use your fake pistol and have fun of holding up a bank.
Looks like illustrations above.
Yeah.
But what's above is the pistol cigarette case.
And they just send you the dead turtle.
Stick up your friends. Wait, what? Hold on.
Stick up your friends.
It's super tiny print, which is why it's just kind of hard. That's the wrong one. Okay, the illustration above. Stick up your friends, but only for
fun.
That's kind of what it says.
Yeah.
But only for for trunk? I don't know.
Win for trunk.
Pull trigger.
2024 election. Win for trunk.
Something flies again.
Sure. Your friend's brains. They fly.
They gladly drop in coin after The Secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bank. It's like you put money in it.
Oh, I see. It's a hold-up bank.
Yes. So it doesn't, like, you can't, I don't know.
This is fantastic.
So then it does look like the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you just put money in a gun-shaped
I tell you,
bank.
here's the thing I want though is the skull and crossbones ring. I just think because that thing lights up. Look at that with the red eyes.
Or is it just red?
None of that shit's real. You know that, right? I mean, they just send you this crap.
It's like sea monkeys. I get it, but I'm still worried about the watch it change color, a live pet, live chameleon for 25 cents.
Well, that and the busted turtle.
And the busted turtle, because people were getting dead animals.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a disappearing mouse, there's a busted up turtle, and there's a live chameleon.
I'm convinced the disappearing mouse is like kids thought, oh, I could get a mouse, and they write in and they just send people empty boxes.
Oh, it disappeared.
And they just keep the money. And when they write them, they're like, I got nothing. And they're like, no, you got the disappearing mouse.
The disappearing mouse. We told you what was going to happen.
All right, let me go ahead. I guess I'll go ahead and tease what I'm looking at for next week.
Yeah, please do.
But this reminds me of something, of the whole theme and stuff, and we're just talking in general, how Dr. Hormone sounds like he's not a kid's comic.
Jiu-jitsu lessons. Sorry. You need to take that from me.
So we talked about how Dr. Hormone does not sound like he
doesn't sound like a kid's comic, no.
They have romance comics that are in the public domain.
Oh, man, come on.
Do I need to read one of those for this?
Please. Dear God, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to find then for a future episode.
Ironically, they're called the disappearing mouse also. So I don't know what it meant in the 40s, but it was something different.
So I'll go ahead and I'll just find one of them and I'll just read through the whole, because they produce them the same way like they did these with multiple stories.
Yeah.
So I'll just find one and like read through an issue of multiple stories, and we'll just go through the multiple stories for one.
Poor little horny kids reading these romance comics.
Could be bad, but also I'm looking at one for the future. By the way. Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna tease. I'm assuming it's 7-Eleven is how you would pronounce his name. It's number 7-Eleven, number 711. Yeah. I will go ahead and give you,
never forget,
at least a teaser for his origin.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to save it.
Okay. All right.
Just know that 7-Eleven, I'm going to assume that that's how they want it to be said, or else why would you make it 711?
Right.
But so you can look forward. That's another public domain superhero with a ridiculous kind of way that he fights crime that we'll get into.
7-Eleven used to have a catchphrase.
Oh, thank heaven.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, thank heaven. It's 7-Eleven. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thank heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I used to love the Slurpee cups.
We never had
you had the collectible Slurpee cups.
I feel like all the 7-Elevens turned into Diamond Shamrock.
They were Diamond Shamrock. Yep.
I don't know.
They were disappearing mice.
I didn't get Slurpees back until the 7-Elevens came back here to town recently.
Slurpees sucked. I didn't like Slurpees.
Do they still suck?
The ice is too big.
Are they aren't they kind of like ices?
You know what the best thing is?
A Coke Icy?
Nope. Slush puppy.
A slush. Oh, I have had one.
Slush puppy.
The little dog on
they used to sell those at Kmart. Yeah.
Dude, Kmart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, welcome to our podcast about vintage shit that doesn't exist anymore.
Welcome to our Kmart podcast. It's called Blue Light Special.
Blue Light Special.
Brought to you by Super K.
Do you remember the Blue Light Special? Like were you around when they had actual Blue Light Specials?
At the tail end of it,
they had this weird cart that they pushed around that had a pole on it that had an actual blue light.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
I don't remember it ever being on, but I remember seeing the cart.
Some poor old lady who's way dead at this point used to push that thing around, and then she would have to gotta go to Housewares, and then, hey, customers, there's a Blue Light Special in Housewares.
So they would just tell her hey, go stand there for 15 minutes.
Yep. It was like she was giving out samples, at Sam's or something, or Costco. But she was just like the blue light lady.
Dude, so
what a miserable existence that had to be.
I'm just gonna go stand here while people come and get. Yeah. I guess there were two
tea towels. Buy one get one free.
I guess it was to incentivize people into just being in the store longer, maybe?
Well, yeah, you would like, oh, there's the blue light. I got to go over there.
Okay.
They got fishing tackle, 50% off.
I remember also, didn't at one point in time, I think that they got rid of the actual blue light, but they still had blue light specials.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because
you couldn't afford. Eunice died, and you couldn't afford to replace her for what you were paying.
I feel like I could be completely wrong, but I feel like there was like an actual cartoon blue light.
Probably.
That they had in ads that I remember.
I don't doubt that.
But all right, so that's what we got coming up in the future.
Cut my knee open in the parking lot of a Kmart one time.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember
big old
that
gash.
I went to the grand opening of a Super Kmart,
Ooh.
and I built a Ferris wheel out of Connects.
Oh,
which
very
like the
nice.
plastic version of Erector
I remember
sets.
that. Yeah, Connects were cool.
And they had a place to eat
Charles
inside
Barkley
the Super.
was there.
He was fresh off of his win over Godzilla.
Anybody else want to challenge me? I can get to
while
300
Barkley
feet
may
tall.
not have an NBA title,
Sure.
he has something no other NBA player can say.
Very, very true.
And that is a win over Godzilla. Real quick note, because I teased it a little bit. I don't know if I did when we were talking,
Right.
or I did to start the show, but this is not Charles Barkley's only appearance in comics.
Yeah. You were going to bring that up.
I'll just add this quick little bit because I'm going to find and get the actual comic so I can do this.
Okay.
There is also one that is called Sir Charles Barkley and the Referee Murders.
Oh, very nice.
And it is Barkley basically being accused of murdering referees and him trying to clear his name.
Sure.
And he's dressed like Dick Tracy through the whole thing.
That's fantastic.
So that is something you can look forward to here in the future on this show, and know that also Charles Barkley does not go by Charles Barkley in comics, because the cover is Godzilla versus Barkley. The other one is Sir Charles Barkley and the Referee Murders.
He does call himself Sir in this one.
He does.
At one point whenever he goes to drive the lane
But
on
so,
Godzilla.
Barkley 1-0 against Godzilla. Thanks as always to giving us a tune. You can follow us on Instagram, BroFoHero. Feel free to go ahead and shoot us an email at brosfoesandheroes, all spelled out,
Yes, sir.
at gmail.com. Also, Mike, what's going on at Rogue Media?
You can check us out at roguemedianetwork.com. Plenty of great shows there, and some that aren't, but most of them are pretty good.
A lot of great stuff on the Rogue Media family of podcasts here. As always, again, thanks for taking the time out to listen. Until next time, everybody, stay safe.
Snarf. Got a gun.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Hey there, golf lovers. Looking to step up your game? Let me tell you about Mollybox, the ultimate golf subscription box. Every month, Mollybox sends you a box packed with premium golf gear, accessories, and stylish apparel, all delivered right to your door. Imagine getting top-tier apparel and more, all handpicked just for you. With Mollybox, you'll stay ahead of the game and boost your performance. It's like having a personal caddy in a box. So why wait? Join the Mollybox family today. Head over to mollybox.com and use your limited time promo code ROGUE25, ROGUE, ROGUE 25 for 25% off your first box. That's mollybox.com.